He said her name, suddenly aware of the surrounding quiet, and put his hand in the water, which was cold. Unthinkingly, he lifted her white sweater and smelled the wood smoke from earlier that evening at Clinton Lake, the synthetic lavender of what he knew to be her shower gel. He said her name again, louder now, then looked around. A few birds skimmed the undisturbed surface of the lake. No, those were bats. When did she dive or step off the boat, and how could she have made no splash? And what if she was drowned? He yelled now. A dog responded in the distance. From spinning around in search of her, he felt dizzy and sat down. Then he stood again and looked along the edges of the boat. Maybe she was just beside it, stifling her laughter. But she wasn't. He would have to pilot the boat back to the dock, where she must be waiting. There was a dock for every 2 or 3 subdivisions. He thought he saw a firefly signal slowly from the shore, but it was too late in the year for that. He felt a wave of anger rising, and he welcomed it, wanted it to overwhelm his panic. He hoped Amber had dived into the water before his rambling confession of feeling. He'd said they'd stay together once he left Topeka for school, but now he knew they wouldn't. He was eager to demonstrate his indifference as soon as he found her safe on land. See the outboard motor gleaming in the moonlight. For any of his friends, managing the boat would be easy. All of them, even the other Foundation kids, exhibited a basic Midwestern mechanical competence, could change their oil or clean a gun, whereas he couldn't even drive stick. He located what he assumed was a starter rope, pulled it. Nothing happened. He pushed what must have been the throttle to another position and tried again. Nothing. He was beginning to wonder if he might have to swim. He wasn't sure how well he swam. When he saw the key in the ignition, he turned it, and the engine started up. As slowly as possible, he motored back to shore. When he approached the land, he turned the engine off, but failed to bring the boat in parallel with the dock. A loud crack when the fiberglass hit the wood, which silenced the nearby bullfrogs. Nothing seemed damaged, not that he really looked. He rushed to throw the lines gathered in the boat around the cleats nailed to the dock, quickly improvised some knots, then pulled himself out of the boat. He prayed that no one was watching him from a window. Without taking the keys or her clothes or pipe or bottle, he sprinted up the incline through the wet grass toward her house. If the boat drifted back out on the water, that would be her fault. The large glass doors facing the lake were always unlocked. He slid one open quietly and went in. Only now did he feel the cold sweat. He could make out her brother's shape on the couch, pillow over his head, sleeping in the glow of the large television. The news was on mute. The room was otherwise dark. He thought of waking him, but instead removed his Timberland boots, which he assumed were muddy, and crept across the room to the white-carpeted stairs. He went up slowly. He'd stayed over 2 or 3 times before when she'd told her parents he'd had too much to drink. They'd thought he'd slept in the guest room. They'd thought, correctly, that he'd called home. But the prospect of encountering anyone now, when he hadn't even confirmed that she was present, horrified him. Her mom took sleeping pills. He'd seen the oversized prescription bottle, knew she mixed them nightly with her wine. Her stepdad had slept through a brawl at a recent party. They'll never wake up, he reassured himself. Just don't knock anything over. He was glad to be in his socks. He reached the first floor and surveyed the dark, expansive living room before he climbed the next flight of stairs to where the bedrooms were. He could almost make out the large generic hunting scene on the far wall, dogs flushing game from the woods, beside a lake at sunset. He could see the red light blinking on the panel for the alarm system they thankfully never armed.